Yeah, I know, this is a cop-out video and not actually putting up any content on a game that I am playing right now, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. So you know what I love? E-drama. You know what I love even more than that? It's something that is equally as entertaining, but at least 10 times as fucking retarded and just dumb altogether. And that is e-drama about specifically mobile games. Or games in general that have like fucking 10% of concurrent players as like popular PC games or non-mobile games of any kind, really, like fucking League of Legends or something. I know that's like a crazy game to compare things to, and there's not many games of that scale, really. But you get what my point is. Like, Arknights is such a small game with such few people that are really like concurrently playing it versus any other popular game on the market right now. Now, what exactly am I even talking about here? Okay, so I'm a little late to the party, because, again, this is shit that happened a week ago, and this was during the week that I wasn't doing anything because Chelsea was moving, so I didn't really put the video up or record anything involving it, but last week is, it marks the second time. Now, let me make this perfectly clear with you guys. I'm not burning any YouTubers here in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to reply to specifically, or not respond even, fucking A. I am going to refer to 2 YouTubers in particular by just what their handle is, just so that you can understand what I'm talking about. And, frankly, I like both. I watch both. I respect both. And I don't think that these YouTubers in any way, shape, or form actually have any direct beef with each other in any way, shape, or form. It's just more centered around the community of the game as a whole. Alright, are we good? Alright, good. So anyway, Dreamy, which is a content creator for Arknights that makes a lot of just decent and really well and just thorough videos about strengths and weaknesses of operators throughout the game. They make really fucking good videos involving this shit. They do not use a microphone or a webcam of any kind, it's just text. But it is, again, it's just really great information to know why an operator is really good. And definitely is of the mind of there are no bad operators, only bad doctors. Now, this person has made 2 videos now that have weirdly fallen in line shortly after something that another YouTuber by the name of Tectone has said about particular operators. Now again, I don't think that Dreamy has anything against Tectone in any way, shape, or form. I truly just believe that Tectone says things that are really opinionated about an operator, and somebody doesn't particularly agree with it, or they get bent out of shape, and then they bring it to Dreamy's attention, to which Dreamy is like, alright dog, hold my beer, and then moves on to making a video about it. I don't think it goes any further than that in terms of the content creators themselves. This being said, that doesn't stop the community from completely fucking blowing everything out of proportion, though. And that's exactly what happened here. I made the mistake, and the only reason why I'm even talking about this right now is I made the mistake on the Dreamy video about Province that came out last week, and I scrolled down and just saw this absolute dumpster fire of a comment section when I scrolled down. It just hurt to read the shit that was going on down there, I swear to Christ. So what is everybody bent out of shape for exactly so badly? One thing for sure, if you guys are really confused about this, like you've never really played any unit collector game, people get very serious about like their waifus and their designated characters that they really like, and they don't like when you trash an operator that they particularly like, or that you trash a character that they use or does have practical use. They don't like it, and people get just really opinionated with it very quickly, and it shows. What they don't like is that Tectone had allegedly said in a video when there was the Province banner that he's not a big fan of Province, in that specifically the quote that people use is that he had stated she's only good when she has 3 buffers, going off of people will quote that it was like a stab, a passive-aggressive stab at Dreamy. And it really wasn't, because there are several other videos that was in his response video as well, showing other people doing the same goddamn thing with the same 3 buffers with Province. It's not just a stab at Dreamy, it really is a number of people who will use Province with 3 buffers that make her look godly, and it's misleading in that sense, if you catch my drift here. So, naturally, Dreamy made a video on this when people brought it to his attention. I assume it's a he, I have no idea. The picture that Dreamy has for their profile looks like Wa2K from Girls Frontline, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. It looks like Wa2K. Anyway, Dreamy made a video that was going against that, you know. So he's under the impression that a lot of people, and maybe people other than Tectone say it as well, that Province is only good with buffers. So fuck it, let's make a video where Province doesn't have buffers. And then we'll also put it in comparison to Swire that has the same 3 buffers. Because one thing that Tectone had also said is that you can make a Swire look good with 3 buffers, which is a very controversial character due to the way that her passives work, and that there are just better operators that you can do the things that Swire... Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just... A lot of people don't really like Swire and think that she's particularly weak, so it was like a decent power comparison to do there, and lo and behold, Province still had really good numbers, still did a lot of damage during that test. And that was what Dreamy wanted to showcase right there. It wasn't like a stab back at Tectone dropping the mic or anything, but people are treating it as such for some reason, and I don't even understand. I literally don't see anything from either YouTuber talking about the other one particularly or directly, except for when Tectone was dreaming, was dreaming, what the fuck am I talking about? When Tectone was memeing over the fact of, like, fuck it, fight me, like, kind of shit. But, like, again, that was a joke in his response towards the end. I don't think that he even really gives a shit too much about what Dreamy is doing that much. I don't think that they dislike each other. I don't understand, unless I'm missing something here. Anyway, I think it was 4 days later, 3 days later or some shit, Tectone makes a response video to all the drama that's going on, because he very frequently, and make no mistake, it is harassment, he very frequently gets harassed by people who don't like what he says about operators, and that he's wrong, and all this other shit, and there's this whole mentality about not spreading misinformation with shit. Now, Tectone is very anecdotal with the things that he presents, and that's okay. That's just his style. Dreamy's very factual and will put spreadsheets and information that is tested out in front of you, and there's definitely a place in the community for people like Dreamy. They usually contribute to why you have wiki pages for these games, because they data mined it and they did the data for it. And then Tectone just has a lot of anecdotal ways of going about things. Sometimes he will go out and actually, like, show you in person when he does a thing as to why he says the shit that he does about an operator, but it's mostly anecdotal. And frankly, I don't think that anybody should be going to anybody for making it their own opinion about what an operator does, but anyway, let's move forward with that. He made a response video, Tectone that is, to this whole entire situation. And as it turns out, as he's playing his own video about Province in the background, he had never stated at all that Province is only good with buffers. He simply stated that Province looks godly because of buffers, and that anybody can look godly because of those buffers. You can make Beagle look good with all of those buffers. You get what I'm saying here? Like, that was the point that was being made there. And simply that Tectone doesn't like Province because once the enemy is over 80% health, they can't be targeted, which is what makes her niche, and that's the problem that he has with Province. There's a couple of problems that people don't really understand with the shit that Tectone says, and I don't understand this concept at all. This isn't something specifically to people online, but this is a lot of the reasoning why I don't like just forums as a whole and just people when it comes to different opinions, is a lot of times human beings seem to just get angry at somebody immediately when they make an opinion about something and describe something a certain way with either a word, like an adjective, or an abstract word of some kind, and they don't bother to ask, like, what they mean about it. Like, just to throw an example to you guys, one of my coworkers a while ago told me that every single veteran is a rapist. This is obviously ridiculous for what most people are looking at, but as it turns out, when I didn't freak out on him. I wasn't like, hey, that's disrespectful. I just didn't understand what he meant by it. And by no means is this argument that he's making would it ever hold up in court, mind you, but he stated that the term rape is simply forced insertion of any kind. It never was a sexual word originally. And by that definition, all veterans who have gone into other countries, have been deployed into other countries, are rapists. He's not necessarily wrong, but, like, most people would hear that statement and just freak out on him because it's super disrespectful or something. Like, you know what I mean? That's how people are with things, rather than asking what the hell he means. How are you defining the word rape? And this is the thing that people don't understand with Tectone. He's just a very memey guy. He is a meme with legs. He says shit bombastically and very in-your-face about it, and they don't understand how he classifies things often. He makes he also challenges the statement of there are no bad operators, only bad doctors, where there are operators that are just bad, and bad meaning they're not very universal. And that's the point that he likes to challenge all the time. That is the most important thing that he values when he is trying to evaluate an operator, is how many situations are they useful in, and should you invest your resources in it? Because it's a big thing in this game. Like, why would you want to put a ton of resources in stacking a character out that's only good in certain particular situations when you could do it to a character that you can use in 95% of situations? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense that way. He also very highly looks at a unit based on what their passives are, and this is what led to the video before this one where he said that he didn't like Savage because, honestly, her passive is trash. It really is, versus fucking Lapland, for example, who silences on hit when you E1 them, and then you go to Savage where she has 2 adjacent wall tiles and she gains 5% attack and defense. That's shit. That's a bad passive. I'm sorry. It's a bad passive. So that's a lot of what goes into where he values things. And just, I don't know. People are ridiculous. They are absolutely ridiculous with this game and the shit that people say. Like, I don't know why they take to heart another person who they've never met in reality, in any way, shape, or form. They've never met this human being, but they're going to make just things annoying for him during his job while he's streaming because they don't like the fact that he said a thing that might not have been perfectly entirely accurate about what Province and Swire and Savage can do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why he's being held to the same standard as Dreamy, who specifically makes videos that are factual that way. We have this weird stigma where, like, if you're this is a problem with just content creators too, where apparently if you make videos on YouTube, everything that you say has to be completely accurate, and if you're spreading any misinformation, then you're lazy and you're a bad content creator. But that's not accurate. If you don't hold yourself to that standard and you don't pretend like you're that paragon of information that people should be going to, then what does it matter? Like, I don't know. Just the whole entire situation is a fucking shit show. I apologize for going on a fucking tirade so long about this, guys, but just case in point, people are batshit crazy, especially when it comes to, like, a mobile game. A fucking mobile game, of all things. Like, Jesus Christ. If you guys really get that butthurt about somebody else's opinion about an operator, and that you go online to find out what operators are the best or the best in slot things and stuff like that, like, maybe you shouldn't be playing Arknights, or better yet, maybe you shouldn't be playing video games as a whole. The entire strength and point about video gaming is the fact that it's incredibly interactive. You hit a button and you're doing something in the game. It's trial and error. You're presented a task and a rule set, and you need to go around that rule set to be able to find a way to complete the task. That is what video gaming is. What happened to the days 20 years ago where people would sit down, shut the fuck up, and play the game, and not have to go online on wikis and look shit up all the time and just ruin the game? Why can't you just play the game? Like, oh my god. people just give me headaches, man. They really do. I hope you guys have a great day. I needed to get that one off of my chest because, just, again, people amaze me with Arknights. Like, they really do. And I see it every time that I'm in a Tectone stream. Like, I'm not joking when I say that or blowing this out of proportion. These people exist, and they are very common. And why do they exist in such large quantities in a game that's so low rated on Twitch for people that are watching shit on Arknights? Like, it's just... It baffles me how many people are just so unfun about Arknights. And I know fun is subjective, but, like, really, it's just... It's not fun. You're ruining things for other people actively by just being a smartass about information being relayed from other people because they have an opinion about things. Even though both Dreamy and Tectone are very open in saying to the community, like, if you like a unit, just build the unit. Use the unit, because everybody has some kind of a practical use, even if they're a better... Fuck, I have a Chen and a Franka, okay? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because people don't like Franka, very obviously. She's a very forgettable unit. She has armor... Not even armor resist... Like, armor ignore with the damage that she does. She has like a 10 or a 20% chance, depending on if she's E1 or E2, to completely ignore damage or ignore armor when she attacks. Their armor means nothing. And when she's in her skill 2 or her skill 1, I think it's her skill 2, she also increases that talent's chance by 2.5 times, which means up to 50% chance to completely ignore armor. So she's an armor shredder, more or less, character. She doesn't give a fuck about your armor as a guard, which is pretty cool. I like her. She's a decent character. I've, like, listened to her lines. I think she's very adorable sounding, and I just love her because she's got the Fox Girl shit going on, which is kind of my thing. And I really like the character. I'm going to E2 her, absolutely. I also have an E1 level 40 Chen right now, who's much more flexible in every way. She is an SP battery. She also has a crazy killer skill 2 that hits a much wider area. It's a single hit rather than a channeled skill, but she will hit a weird T-shaped location in front of her for both physical and arts damage, essentially doing the same thing. And just, again, is way more reactive and just a better all-around character to use. She's way more flexible. Everything about Chen is, for the most part, better than Franka. She can do what Franka does and so many other things. It would make way more sense to build a Chen. But I don't want to build a Chen. I'm going to build a Franka anyway. I know what she can do. I don't even really care. I want to build Franka. She's cool. I like her. You know what I mean? What happened to shit like that? Just experiment with the stuff that you like and play the game the way that you want to fucking play the game. It's a single-player game. There's no competition. There's not even a time limit that you need to do to get certain things done to be able to, you know, compete with the community to get that task done faster than other people, like other mobile games. So I don't understand why people are so crazy about resource management and stuff. Like, just play the fucking game. Anyway, that's it, guys. I've gone on way too long about something that's not that important, really, so take it easy. I need to get to the actual footage that I'm going to be using for the background here, so take it easy, once more. Oh, and don't be a dick to other people online whose job it is to just make video content to be an entertainer. Because being an entertainer is very much a job, and you're just being an asshole to the guy at the counter for no apparent reason right now, so yeah, just don't be a dick.